Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 8 of season 2 of the F1 22 Haas Road to Glory. Yes, we're back today here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Of course, a massive thank you to all of you for the continued support on this series. If you missed out Monaco from last weekend, I would highly recommend going back and checking out the duel in the Formula 1 crown. And yeah, spoilers of course will be in just a moment. But at the time we're recording this, we are very close to 94,000 subscribers. By the time this video goes live, we might just have hit it if things continue to go the way they have been. So a massive thank you to all of you for the insane and continued support throughout the entirety of 2022, of course. We're going to get close to 100k by the end of the year, but unless something crazy happens, it looks like we might just miss it. But if you're sat here, you're watching this video and you see that big red button down below, please do make sure you subscribe for daily Formula 1 related content. But yeah, heading though in towards the Azerbaijan Grand Prix there, 10 points separate our top 3 in the Drivers' Championship. Max Verstappen leads the way, 7 ahead of Charles Leclerc, who's a further 3 ahead of myself. Ferrari and Red Bull tied at the top of the Constructors' Championship as we're in a bit of no man's land in P3 there, but we've been mighty consistent overall so far this season. However, yeah, Spain and Monaco really didn't suit our cars. It was a case of damage limitation last weekend in Monaco. 4 fastest laps, though, in a row has certainly done us some good favours there, as Charles Leclerc finally got his first win of the year after 3 second places leading up to that point. So, yeah, it seems like everyone, our top 3 championship protagonists have all kind of had one bad race where we haven't scored points, and then the rest have been pretty good for the most part. But as we head towards Baku, fingers crossed this can be a track that kind of suits our car a little bit better. However, we are just going to swap out quite a few engine components before we head into this one, because the next couple of tracks are going to need some ponies on them. So that's what we're going to try and do. Let's get into it though, qualifying here from the Baku City circuit. Right, well here we are then, back on the Baku City streets, of course. Red Bull Ferrari has certainly given us a strong run for our money at the moment. Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen, of course, leading the charge, but we're not far away. And like I said, this track should hopefully really suit our car over the course of this weekend. And of course, got to try and get a lap nailed. That's not going to do me any favours, almost into the wall straight away at turn 1. That would not have been the way to start qualifying, but the car is quick round here. It is just like trying to avoid the wheel spin. It's so torquey, this Ferrari power unit. Really does launch you out of the corners, sometimes sideways. That is not going to do me any favours though. Too busy looking at who'd gone fastest, and I've almost Charles Leclerc'd it. Well done, Matt. Just realised I haven't even spoke over this second run so far, just going back into the swing of things. Hopefully this one we can actually get a lap on the board. That's what I mean about the wheel spin. We're winding our way through the final couple of turns, and at least this one's actually been a valid lap up till now. Haven't done a Charles Leclerc through the castle section, but green sector 1, green sector 2. So it's going to be green sector 3 as well, but up towards the start-finish line then, what is the time going to be when we get back to the start-finish line? 39.2 puts us 2/10 behind Checo Perez, who, yeah, the street circuit master that he is. Right, here we go then, rounding through the final corner. One more lap is going to hopefully make the difference. Here in Baku, we need another quarter of a second to get up to Sergio Perez, but Lando Norris looking mighty fast, and even Kevin Magnussen right towards the sharp end. Let's get this lap nailed. Too many mistakes up over the top of the hill there. Grazed the wall on the inside, couldn't put the power down on the exit either. We're going to have to go full send through these final few turns of the lap and see if we can try and recoup the time. As rounding through the final couple of turns, that's way too much curb. This lap I think is, yep, it is a write-off. So we head through the final couple of corners and really struggled, of course, such low downforce around this Baku circuit. We have not been able to get the laps needed that we probably were capable of around this venue. I feel like we could have been very close for that time set by Sergio Perez, but it is going to be P2 at very best. That's frustrating to end quali. Well, we don't call him the street circuit wizard for nothing. Sergio Perez, they're half a second clear of his teammate Max Verstappen. But we do line up then on the front row of the grid ahead of Charles Leclerc and the Dutchman there, Lando Norris, and our teammate Kevin Magnussen right towards the sharp end as well. Fingers crossed we can try and have a nice, clean, tidy start here, and maybe still sneak away another victory from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Let's get into it here from Baku.
And a warm welcome to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku, and home, of course, to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners and few runoff zones, many are expecting a safety car here today. So our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes and hopefully out of the barriers. Baku City Circuit then. It's an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, and Mr. Monaco completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Norris, Kevin Magnussen and Verstappen, Gasly, Russell, Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon, Sainz, Albon, Sebastian Vettel and Tsunoda, Hamilton, Bottas, Mick Schumacher and Guan Yu Zhou, Stroll and Nicholas Latifi. And now it's time to head down to the track. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching out for as they head into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Okay, now that we've got some good points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Right, well, here we are then on the grid, ready for the Baku Grand Prix here from Azerbaijan. Fingers crossed we can keep it clean and tidy. Medium hard even, I should say, seems to be the way to go this afternoon, but we know just how quick this car is down the straight. Hopefully Sergio Perez will be no match for us, maybe... Oh, no, I didn't get the clutch glitch. That was actually just me lacking talent for once. But I get heat into the tyres and brakes though early on and hopefully get a good start. Right, we're heading back up towards the start-finish line then. I always forget just how weird it sort of is that we have this 2-kilometre straight here in Azerbaijan, to make up the final sector of this circuit. Of course, it's kind of weird in the fact that we've had it now for absolutely years, but it's just kind of strange. We've kind of accepted it as normality, but let's try and build up some temperature then in those tyres. Make sure that we can get the car lined up nicely on the grid. Try and line up nice and square. There we go, purple on the lineup, nice and straight towards turn 1. Maybe we're probably going to be focusing on trying to cover off Charles Leclerc behind, but maybe, just maybe, we can try and get Sergio Perez early on in this Grand Prix. We had good pace here last season. We've got a lot better car than we did last season, so hopefully that's going to be a good omen. Waiting on those 5 red lights then here from Baku. Lights out and away we go. A lot of wheel spin as we try to get up into second gear. There, Charles Leclerc will get past us. Will Lando Norris be able to do the same? No. Well, hold on firm ahead of the McLaren as we head through the first couple of turns there. But Sergio Perez leads the way ahead of Charles Leclerc and myself there. So Leclerc straight up to P2. I'm sure Sergio Perez will be told not to let that Ferrari car or our Haas by, because, of course, his teammate Max Verstappen leading the World Championship as we head into this weekend there. Charles Leclerc finally getting a win underneath him. He has probably been the most consistent driver so far this year. We've struggled on a couple of occasions. Of course, Max Verstappen struggled back, I want to say, at Albert Park, wasn't it? Late on in the day, if my memory hasn't failed me, which now I'm wondering whether it has done. But yeah, we might have lost one place off the start there, but fairly undramatic for the most part, as we just try and get the car settled down on this opener lap, tip it up through the castle section nice and tidy on this opener, and that's pretty critical. It will be interesting to see though what Lando Norris and Kevin Magnussen's pace is like early on in this Grand Prix. Of course, they were very, very close on Saturday, but Kevin has often done that and then struggled a bit more on Sunday, and Lando Norris here just seems to be able to wring everything that McLaren, and maybe a little bit more there, as Sergio Perez already with almost a 1 second lead by the end of lap 1, but pulling away from Lando Norris, that's important, and I'm hoping Kevin Magnussen can keep Max Verstappen at bay early on. Of course, those two, probably two of Formula 1's most aggressive drivers. So already by the end of lap 2, though, Charles Leclerc just dropping back away from Sergio Perez a bit more than I'd really like to be seeing the Monegasque driver doing so early on there. Lando Norris, Kevin Magnussen as well, dropping back behind myself there as Perez new fastest lap. We go marginally slower, so we try and have a look to the inside of Charles Leclerc. He's just going to sit on the exit there. Of course, we'll get the DRS between turn 2 and turn 3. We've got to be careful, of course. Only 3 points between us in the championship. Sergio Perez not really in this championship battle at the moment, but we will get a very, very good run there on Charles Leclerc, who's going to try and cover me off. Perhaps just a bit too late, but on the other hand, the AI aren't often that brave on F122. They're clean around the outside. Goes Charles Leclerc. Full commitment, full bravery, and that's allowed Norris and K-Mag to sneak closer once more. Charles Leclerc now maybe just being told by Ferrari to get a bit of a hurry on with it. Pulls out 0.8 of a second by the time we get back round. He'll start-finish straight. Now Lando Norris is closer to me than we are to the Ferrari car, but not for very long there, as you can just see. We use a bit of battery. 215 miles an hour, almost 220, as we head back down towards Shelburne. That's like 350 kilometers an hour there or thereabouts. And yeah, we are certainly still going to be able to apply pressure to Charles over the next few, but yeah, Sergio Perez is just trying to check out at the front of the field. Charles Leclerc, you can run, but you can't hide as we head through the final couple of turns once more. It is quite difficult to try and judge where you need to be turning in, of course, because of the dirty air and the lack of downforce that you have to run around this circuit. But gaining on the Ferrari there, 290 miles an hour for a brief moment as we pull to the outside of the Ferrari, back down towards turn 1, and Charles Leclerc is still not willing to give up on this one as we head out of the first corner there. We're going to be side by side in towards turn 2. Luckily, we'll get the DRS, but can't put the power down on the exit of the corner, and Charles Leclerc apparently can run, and apparently he can still hide. We cannot find a way past the Monegasque driver, and Sergio Perez now almost 4 seconds up the road. Oh! I wasn't trying to go for a move on Charles Leclerc that time round, but the Monegasque driver's locked up down at turn 1. Thanks for the freebie, Charlie boy. Let's try and run away. I made it look so easy, Mark, because I wasn't actually trying to do anything, but we'll have it. Now can we try and break out of the DRS and close up to Sergio? Kevin Magnussen just on my MFD there, trying to get the jump on Lando Norris. Really would like to see our Danish teammate fighting up towards the front a bit more. You know, I think it's still going to be a tall order for us to really run a Constructors' Championship challenge this year, but yeah, maybe we continue on with the upgrades. Kevin can start to close up. Also reassuring to see that the gap to Checo is coming down lap after lap at the moment. Not massively, but it certainly is coming down by a good 7 or 8 tenths or so. So yeah, of course, a lot of that is just helped by the ridiculous straight line speed this car's got, but we've got good sticking power through the corners as well, as yeah, Charles Leclerc is falling away, potentially back in towards the clutches of the cars behind, as now Max Verstappen pops up on the MFD as well there. Had he stayed in 6th, and we finished this race in the order we were in, it would have been a 3-way tie at the top of the championship. We all would have been on 122 points, I think. I don't think my maths has failed me there. Someone might want to double check it though. Well, as we get to 1/3 distance then in this Grand Prix, gap to Sergio Perez isn't coming down as aggressively as it once was. Perhaps, yeah, the Mexican Minister of Defense just been nursing his tyres, like he's also well known for doing in the world of Formula 1 there. But 1 or 2 more laps, I think, until we're meant to be boxing. Tyres do feel still pretty good. Yeah, team don't want us in next, so we're going to stay out a couple of extra. The gap had just nicked under 2 seconds for a brief period on this lap, but I think, yeah, these medium tyres have pretty much come to the end of their usable life. We'll just try and drain a bit more out of the battery as we head out with the final couple of turns there, but Sergio Perez is still doing a fine effort at the front of the field here. He's going to stay out 1 lap longer by the looks of it, but will we see Charles Leclerc box from behind us? How aggressive am I going to take the pit entry as well? Fairly, I think is the way we're going to describe that one, but get car slowed down nice and tidily into the pit lane. Top 3 in the championship are the first 3 cars into the pits as we head down all the way down to the Haas stall right at the end of the pit lane. Wave to the boys over and out for a minute, and we've got to try and remember just how bad the pit exit is around this Baku circuit, as in I have to do that. Otherwise we will just get fired out onto the circuit. Probably should remember to back me pit limiter though, and luckily we've come out ahead of Sebastian Vettel and a whole gaggle of other midfield runners there. Of course these would have been cars not long ago that we would have been battling with, but we're a front runner now. We fight with the big boys. There we go, Kevin Magnussen peels into the pit lane, not too far behind Sergio Perez, who, yeah, sadly, will be far enough ahead, though, that he won't get held up as he heads back down the pit lane here. But, of course, he's now going to try and deal with the cold rubber for a lap or so, as already heading out the pit lane is Sergio Perez. So has the gap come down? Has it gone up? Has it pretty much stayed where it was? It has gone up. And in quite a big way there, Sergio Perez has pulled at least about another 1.5 seconds through that. We have got to try and get the bit between our teeth. Second half of the Grand Prix. Yeah, we've lost like big style to most people, as Verstappen now has got around Kevin Magnussen. We've got yellow flags out as well. That is an AlphaTauri. And I guess that's Yuki Tsunoda going slowly. Disappointing end of the Grand Prix for him. No, that might actually be, that would be Pierre Gasly, I think, who's off the circuit, or about to be off the circuit, as that is a horrible line through there. We've got to focus and close up 3 seconds to Checo. Make that 4 seconds. There we go, Pierre Gasly as well, finally out of this Grand Prix, bless him. Oh!
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
Do we go on to a fresh set of hards? Is it worth it late on in the day? We'll be quicker, we'll lose out a few spots, but we will have a quicker car towards the end here. The hard tyres I'm not a particularly big fan of around this Baku circuit. I say we gamble it and we go back to hards the other way, back to medium, sorry, the other way again. I'm going to try and make sure we get all this delta down though. It's going to be a big old gamble for the second half here, but I think it might be worth it. We head up through the final couple of corners then. It is trying to think on our feet. Quite surprised that has won a safety car, to be honest. But I think we'll come out around Daniel Ricciardo, Carlos Sainz in this Grand Prix. Got to be really aggressive on pit entry. Just about get the car slowed down that time round. But yeah, where are we going to re-emerge then in this race? It might be a little bit further back. I really want to be ahead of that Alpine, but I'm not convinced it's going to happen, because of course now Sergio Perez has caught up to the front runners. That's not a great stop by the team either. No, we will still be at where I expected. So we're gonna be P9 for the second half of this race. But we have got one phase of softer tyres than everyone else. It's a gamble, but I'm hoping it'll pay off. Right, well, we've been promoted up to P8 then, as Carlos Sainz out of the Grand Prix there under safety car. I've completely forgot, of course, that we still had the automatic safety car on. Desperately need to get that disabled on F1 22 in this career mode, but about to go green flag racing then. There is the stricken Ferrari car on the inside of the circuit, and now we've got to try and make some overtakes. We've basically got to try and pick up 1 car a lap. There's just under 10 to go, and we're down to P8. As immediately, well, accidentally, I'm so sorry, Daniel Ricciardo, that was never my intention to dive bomb you there, but we had to go for it. You broke way earlier than I was expecting. And maybe a Daniel Ricciardo style move on the Australian, but he will slot back in, and we're up 1 place.
They seem to have an issue.
And Sebastian Vettel apparently now with issues as well. It's all going on here in Baku, as it often tends to. Next up, Russell. Now in hot pursuit of George Russell then as we head out of the final corner. Of course, no DRS enabled just yet, so it really is just a battle of who's running less aerodynamics, and that is definitely us at the moment as we close up the Merc back down towards 1, not close enough to go for a send just yet. But we've got 3 Brits in a row. Lando Norris, George Russell and myself. Hamilton is having a nightmare way down in the midfield. As we head through the final couple of turns. So again, George Russell that time round not getting the best line, and we absolutely nailed it. So surely, even still without the help of DRS, this is going to be a done deal. As we head back down the start-finish right here to the inside of George Russell. This one, again, we should be comfortably ahead by the braking zone. DRS now re-enabled, but Russell's squeezed out on the outside. Back to P6. Next up, Lando Norris. There's a bit of battling going on at the road. Max Verstappen trying to jump his main championship rival in Charles Leclerc there. They're going to be side by side as we head down towards turn 3. Kevin Magnussen going to make it 3 wide there. Go on, K-Mag, up the inside, he'll try and look. Max Verstappen has been squeezed out. They're still somehow 3 wide off the corner, and this works out beautifully as Max Verstappen hops over the curbs. I've not seen racing like this very often on F122, and Kevin Magnussen's done it. The Haas car up into P2 of the Grand Prix there. That's not going to do me any favours either. We've actually lost the DRS now, so as soon as Kevin Magnussen has pulled off some heroics in this Grand Prix, we've been left with a lot bigger of an issue there. We've got to get that sorted by the end. DRS around Baku is absolutely critical as Lando Norris now a bit of a lock-up, so that's going to be another freebie for us. Now back to P5 of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, but once more Checo Perez has just ran away at the front of the field there as Lando now under pressure from George Russell as well. It is all kicking off. 7 laps to go. So here goes Max Verstappen again on Charles Leclerc. Back in towards the first turn. Has the Dutchman pulled off the move this time? Yes, he has, before they even got back to the first corner. We have got to try and get past these two. Charles Leclerc, though, is really struggling late on in the day, though. Here from Baku, as you can just see, heading out through the final couple of corners then, not able to put the power down. And he might not have the DRS on Max Verstappen there, as out through the final couple of corners. We're going to pull to the left-hand side of the Ferrari, and he's going to lose 2 places in 2 laps. And our DRS has come back on. That could not have happened at pretty much more of a perfect time in this Grand Prix. Now we can try and go on pursuit of Max Verstappen. And even if he gets back within range of Kevin, we can still have a fight. Max Verstappen struggling to put the power down as we head down the hill in towards the final sector. And I'm just trying to work a way that we can try and help Kevin Magnussen here, because we want both of our Haas cars on the podium this weekend. I think what would be the first time this season. Might have happened at Albert Park, I can't quite remember off the top of my head there, but what we need to do is try and get past Max Verstappen and then really just sit as a rear gunner for our teammate there, as the Dutchman tries to move around down the front straight, but will still have overwhelming straight line speed there. New fastest lap of the day in the process, and back into the lead, back into P3, sorry, of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix there. We're not quite in the lead. Perez has absolutely, unless he gets something go wrong, has walked away with this one. And what we absolutely cannot afford to do late on in the day is A, give Max Verstappen any more DRS than we absolutely have to, and B, is battle with Kevin Magnussen here. I'm tempted, honestly, just to sit behind him, act as a rear gunner, and then maybe we can get a run on the final lap of the Grand Prix there. But what a move it was by Kevin Magnussen there. A double overtake on Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. I said this boy, you know, he won't back out unless he absolutely has to, and sometimes you get the rewards like that. 2 laps to go then here from Baku, and you know what, I'm not even convinced had we stayed out on the hards we would have been able to do anything against Sergio Perez. He has just been in a league of his own today. The street circuit king strikes once more there, as I do not want to do that too many times late on in the day. But yeah, like I said, I think the plan is just sit behind K-Mag until the very last lap, and then we'll try and get a run on him down the start-finish straight there to protect him from Max Verstappen. It's not going to be easy, but you know what, even if we do finish P3 there, as long as we get both cars on the podium, that's the most important thing, as I don't fancy Kevin's chances. So trying to keep the Dutchman at bay. Our final lap then here from Azerbaijan, and we are still just protecting Kevin Magnussen at the moment, making sure that we keep Max Verstappen behind him. Charles Leclerc, it has not been the ideal day for him and Ferrari, but a lot better than Carlos Sainz. Says, Kevin, you don't need to go defensive on me at the moment, mate. Just get the car to the checkered flag there. You know, we had that safety car, we were running P2, we were a good 4 seconds behind Sergio Perez, and you know what, like I said, I'm not even convinced had we stayed out on the hards that we would have done anything about the Mexican. He has just been absolutely unstoppable today, so that is not the line I need out through those next couple of corners there. We do not want to lose the place of Max Verstappen or on this final lap, as that's going to be quite a lot of curb, I think is the way we're going to describe it, on the corner before the castle section, and nail our way through there one final time this afternoon. But as a team, you know what, a double podium we will absolutely take in open arms there. It's been a fantastic day by Kevin Magnussen. Was very close on Saturday, you know, could have easily been right up with me on the front row or the second row of the grid. But, you know, Sunday he's absolutely come alive there with a daring overtake on Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, and absolutely deserves the podium whether it's going to be P2 or P3 there. Open up the DRS through the final couple of corners. Will we get close enough to our teammate as we head our way through the final couple of turns? I reckon Kevin Magnussen's got me. Oh no, he's having to save battery. This is going to be a drag race up towards the line. Will it be Kevin Magnussen? Sergio Perez is now my fastest lap. Will we get to our teammate? No, we won't. It's only P3.
Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a strong drive and a great finish. Well done.
Then it's victory in Azerbaijan. Great work from the whole team here at the track and back at the factory as well. Some pretty handy driving for good measure. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Mick Schumacher gets my vote today.
Let's move on to the constructors. And Red Bull take over as championship leaders. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Well, a bit annoyed, to be honest, that Perez nabbed my fastest lap bonus point there right at the very end, but pole position, fastest lap, race victory, led every lap. Sergio Perez absolutely dominated this weekend from Azerbaijan. Then no one could put a stop to him. Kevin Magnussen, P2, beats me out by less than a tenth at the checkered flag there, but we both get both cars ahead of Max Verstappen, and that was very, very important as well. There's Charles Leclerc, 5th ahead of Russell, both McLarens there, Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda rounding out our top 10, and it does mean at the top of the championship, we have now re-jumped Charles Leclerc back into P2. They're less than 10 points still, covering the top 3 in the Drivers' Championship. Perez back into P4 though, so if next race was the championship decider, it would be a 4-car fight for the world title. Sainz still ahead of Lando Norris, both tied now on 84 points. Goes to show just how brutally consistent Lando has been over the last few weekends. There, K-Mag now jumps both Mercs back into 7th place as well, ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. Mick Schumacher on countback gets ahead of Stroll, Vettel, Zhou Guanyu and Nicolas Latifi as well, further down the order, and Red Bull re-jump Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. 50 points away from ourselves. Like I said, it's going to be a difficult one, but maybe if Kevin Magnussen can build up some consistency, we can try and fight that one out towards the end of the year there. Williams re-jump Aston Martin as well in their battle on countback. AlphaTauri now tied once more with Alfa Romeo as well. Maybe they can try and snooker away P7 as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well, and we will return very, very soon when the Haas Road to Glory heads to Canada. You guys do not want to miss. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.